welcome back to another episode of the Korok Seed Master Mode Challenge. Today we've got another 20 seeds that we're going to be hunting down and backtracking around to a couple of different places that we've been before in order to make sure that we meet that quota. So make sure to hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe for more daily content, and let's jump into the seeds of today's video. So the first seed that we're going for is actually going to be a time trial that we're looking after. And I tend to speed through these things a little bit more, but there's a technique that I found that works really well, especially with the limited amount of stamina that we have at our disposal. And that is, you want to make sure that any of these flat sections here you can use to make sure that you recuperate your stamina as best you can, but you also need to have some stamina replenishing items on standby, because I could climb up this pretty slowly, but there's no way that I'm going to be able to do that all in one go. And since we don't have access to Rivali's Gale or any of the other items due to the nature of the limitations that we've imposed on ourselves, it definitely makes things a little bit difficult here. But we'll make sure that we jump all the way up to the top now that we are running short on time. You'll see that I was trying to stall out and regain some of my stamina, but that just wasn't going to happen. We've got some stamina in reserve there, and then we'll go ahead and pause and eat up some of our stamina restoring items. And that was the last one that I have on hand, though I'll need to stop and replenish that at a later time. And then we do zip on over to that timer just to make sure that we grab it. It's one of the longer timers in the game, but we certainly don't want to play any games when it comes to getting that, because we're all out of the stamina replenishing items at that point in time. Seed number 602 is going to be right near where that last seed we picked up is. We've got to make our way all the way to the top of this windmill. I cut out a lot of it and I just about fell all the way back down to the bottom, which would have been devastating. But as you see here, we just need to interact with the fairy lights up top, and that'll grant us the seed from this spot, and we can move right along in our progress to get the next seed on our docket. Which this one is going to be back near a bunch of these rocky mushroom looking structures that we were running around in the last episode. The few seeds that we need to grab here are going to be ones that we need to shoot a couple of balloons hanging out just underneath the edges of these platforms. And after a couple of shots, I'm dialed into where that needs to go. And with one final minor adjustment, we're going to hit that balloon right in the center, burst it, and grab the Korok seed from here. Though I've always wondered how you end up getting the Korok seed from these locations when they're so far away when you actually pop it. The next seed, seed 604, is actually going to be very similar to the one that we just collected, and you'll see that we dial in a couple of extra shots there to make sure that we grab that as well. And after only 2 or 3 shots, we've got that one taken care of. No problem. Seed number 605 of our overall adventure is a little bit tedious, as we are being tailed by a flock of geese. And this guy is stuck right in the middle of some tall grass, but that doesn't stop him from giving the seed that we've rightfully earned here. Seed number 606 is another time trial that we're going to need to grab, and I was a little bit concerned about the inclement weather, but the other side of this bridge is in a biome where it is impossible for it to rain. You'll see that the bottom right-hand corner weather indicator shows that it is nothing but sun and dryness. So that certainly makes things a little less concerning. At this stage, we've also stopped by one of the nearby stables to replenish our stamina, and we desperately needed it because there was no way we were making it back off of the ledge there, and we'll go ahead and consume one of those vials right now. And that gets us up to this planar section that we can just walk up the top of. That'll give us a passive replenishment to our stamina, but we are still a little bit of a ways away. We can't dawdle because this timer does tick around a lot faster than the previous one we were working with. So we will replenish our stamina with that one as well. And you'll see right here that the second to last bit of that timer is just starting to detonate down. And as it was getting lower, I ended up needing to take that final bit just to make sure that I get up to the ledge where that timer is located. But that did indeed go smoothly, or relatively smoothly, so I can't really complain. We are unlocking the penultimate tower today. This is the Tabantha Tower that we needed to grab. And as soon as we do have that, we need to work our way into the next seed, which is seed 607. After a little bit of a fall, we find ourselves next to these structures that we'll need to move over to this area. We'll plant that right in its rightful place in the corner there, and that'll get us the seed from here. Seed number 608 of our overall adventure is going to be behind this wall. We'll just need to blast that away, and it's a short little glide or swim away. And here in this chest we can grab ourselves a nice piece of topaz, and then we can just walk away. No, just kidding. We'd need to definitely pick up the Korok seed that's here just next to that chest. But it is unique where we haven't really seen any others that have a piece of loot that is sitting right next to it. So that certainly gives it some uniqueness, without a doubt. Seed number 609, I was trying to get a little bit of some Cryonis active to act as a boarding platform after collecting the seed, but unfortunately it led me to slip off the edge of the cliff in a less than graceful manner. And plunging down into the ring does grant us the seed. We can then move along to seed 610, which is atop this pine tree. We've just got to get our way up to the canopy or the top precipice of that tree, interact with the fairy lights, and we can move right on through to grab the next seed, which is going to be seed number 611 of our overall adventure. Now, there's a couple of Lizalfos hanging out over here on the side, but you can skirt around them without activating their range of attack and having them jump in on you. But grabbing the seed from this spot is fairly simple as long as you space yourself well enough away from those opponents. Can't say the same thing for the seed that immediately follows, but let's cover this guy up because there are some hostile entities right around here. And we needed to trek right through the middle of 5 or 6 of those Lizalfos to make our way down to this bottom ledge and grab this rock and the adjoining Korok seed. So this is seed number 612, and of course we've got to drop the rock back down on top of his head as soon as we're done. Seed number 613 is being guarded by 2 silver enemies, a Bokoblin and a Moblin. We had already shot away the little piece of malice that was guarding it, and just like any good bodyguard would do, we go ahead and hit this Korok with the Get Down, Mr. President. And I never said that this was a no deaths run, so don't hold that against me. Seed number 614 is going to be a rock that we place in the center of a few other rings. That's pretty simple. If you come here at night, just know that there will probably be a couple of stall enemies that pop up out of the ground, but otherwise than that, you can manage all right. Seed number 615 is a magnesis stone that we've just got to move inside this tree trunk, and that is a done deal from there. This then brings us to seed number 616, which is going to be atop this stone pillar. You can get up it with one single stamina wheel, or one stamina wheel plus a little bit that we got from the Great Plateau area. Seed number 617 is going to be right after we drop this rock on top of that guy's head, and it's going to involve us dropping a few apples in these trays, and we've got a plethora of those apples on hand, so there's no worries about dropping them in and grabbing our wares from this location as well. Additionally, because you do get the apples back after you have collected the seed, which makes things kind of nice for the inventory management as well. Seed number 618 is simply a little rock that's hanging out underneath a cliff edge. We can grab the seed from underneath it and drop the rock back down on top of this little guy's head before moving just around this rocky outcropping to seed number 619, which is just going to be a boulder that we need to slide down into this little hole in the ground. One of my favorite puzzle types, just was that this one had been a little bit of a longer distance, as I like to watch that boulder roll down the hill. We are free to collect this seed and move on to the final seed of today's episode, which is going to be seed number 620. And of course, that seed is going to be another time trial. This one's pretty easy as well. We are going to use up the remainder of our stamina to make sure that we get up to the top of this little formation here, and we just managed to make our way over the top, which is excellent. And interacting with that timer assures that we are indeed clear for today. But thanks again for watching. Once again, if you enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more daily content, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.